Alright, welcome once again to this month's show on What is Your Story with Dr. Robert. Also remember, once again, we are back. This is a program that happens every Sunday at 6 p.m. only at Romy TV Africa at Dr. Robert Osoro. So my brother, so you say that you had started this.
Ulipiga ikaenda kwa wrong number.
Yeah.
A very good morning to you, my viewer. Welcome to Romy TV Africa. This is Wednesday newspaper review. I am your host, Regina Mongi, and today, on behalf of my colleague Emmanuel Onyango, I have my amazing colleague here.
I'm Eric Kime. Welcome to the Wednesday newspaper review.
Alright, on our first story, how elite killer squad drew Ruto's anger and earned a date with DCI investigators. DCI officers spent the better part of yesterday morning grilling their colleagues who served in the disbanded Special Service Unit, which was formed by former head George Kinoti in 2019. The unit, which was disbanded by acting IG Noor Gabou and confirmed by Mr. Ruto, was accused of extrajudicial killings and put under 24-hour surveillance. The grilling centered mainly around the disappearance of two Indians, Zulifak Ahmed Khan and Mohammed Zaid Sami, in an incident that threatens diplomatic ties between Kenya and India.
Okay, what I think about this story, someone once told me that this special service unit is crucial to any government. Although it performs extrajudicial killings, he told me that some people must die so that the community can be safe, because in the previously we've had the flying squad, we've had the Cobra squad, which were performing the same functions as the special service unit but under different names. But I think what has spooked Dr. William Ruto is the disappearance of the two Indians, which one is a very prominent media personnel in India, and President Ruto is under pressure to find him. And I think when this case is over, another new unit will just come up, but with a different name.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. Elite killer squad, is that a squad in Kenya or in India?
It's in Kenya. It's the special service unit is the killer squad, which is under the DCI.
Oh, what does it practically do?
Mainly, it performs unsanctioned killings. Yeah, to maybe to hardcore criminals. Yeah.
All right. Thank you for your sentiments. On our next story, 5 more in the hot seats as MPs quiz cabinet secretaries nominees. Zechariah Njeru, Lands, Housing and Physical Planning nominee. Kipchumba Murkomen, Roads, Transport and Public Works nominee. Two-time Elgeyo Marakwet senator. He served for 2 terms. Kicked out as Senate Majority Leader in 2020 due to his loyalty to Dr. Ruto. You remember that story?
Yes.
Then we have Susan Nakumicha, Health Cabinet CS nominee. Penina Malonza, Tourism, Wildlife and Heritage nominee, former Kitui Deputy Governor. Then we have Roselinda Sopian Tuya, Environment and Forestry Cabinet nominee, will become first Maasai woman to serve in the cabinet. Daughter of former Narok South MP Samson Oletuya. So according to this list of names, we have seen the history of these CSS. Somebody like Kipchumba Murkomen was served as a Marakwet senator for 2 terms. And then in 2020, he was the Senate Majority Leader, but he was kicked out due to his loyalty to Mr. Dr. William Ruto. What can you say about that?
Dr. Ruto seems to have a very quite clear plan ahead of him in choosing the CSS because of the manifesto which he has upon us. And choosing this team, it was not due to, mainly it was somehow due to its political ambitions, but I think in some parts he chose some very quite interesting professionals, like someone like Zechariah Njeru is a very experienced economist, and I think he will he will drive on to the plan of Dr. Ruto, which he said that he will build. He will start the project of affordable housing.
Okay.
That is good. We have seen people like Rosalinda Sopiantuya, who will become the first Masai cabinet, the first Masai in the cabinet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Dr. Ruto is doing a really good job. And when these CSS are finished being vetting,
yeah, they
will do a really good job.
Do you think the way he chose these nominees, was it out of political interest, or was it out of rewarding his loyalists?
Yeah, well, yeah, at some time, yeah, we've seen some CSS which were nominated due to rewarding their loyalty, yeah, which is something good, but not all of them he chose professionally, which is something good he is doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Next story, Kenyans have been given 30 days to give views on the CBC education reform. Kenyans have 1 month to submit their views on changes they would like to see in the education sector, as the team appointed last month started its engagement with the public. President Ruto formed the 49-member team to recommend changes to the education system. So practically, you as a Kenyan, which views would you give on the CBC system?
Well, I will suggest they make a few reforms. Maybe at some point integrate the 844 with the CBC, because we have had parents complain that the CBC is hectic.
Yeah, and expensive, time-consuming.
And it's really draining their children and also the parents. So I will wish they will come up with a way they can integrate both of them, so that the parents will feel that much pressure. Yeah, and I think the 49-member team is going to do some really great job, and I think that is a really good concern from Dr. Ruto. Yeah, the CBC is a good education reform.
Yeah. Me, I think he has done a good job to form this committee, so that at least if he's going to make a decision, it will be based on the views of people. So him giving a chance to Kenyans to give their views, it is like asking for their opinion. I think that is really a good thing.
Yeah.
And then about the CBC reforms, I think he should consider, I always say he should consider those people in remote areas. As much as there are urban areas, okay, people in urban areas can afford these things, but there are people out there like who are so squeezed with the economy, and they're so like in so remote areas, they can't afford some materials these CBC things ask for. So I think he should consider that materials can be bought by the government and be taken to those areas for those kids.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because not everyone can afford these materials. Yeah. I've seen kids even coming and asking even for a whole shopping, like two bags of 2 kgs of flour. Now, will you use that flour to eat in the house, or will you use it to take to school?
Yeah.
So it's a bit challenging to some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
So on another story, Tinder swindlers target naive Nyeri Polytechnic female students. 6 women from Nyeri Polytechnic lost their phones in what was supposed to be a romantic surprise for one of their friends. According to the report, the suspect approached one of the women, Lisa, not her real name, and claimed that he had liked one of them and would like to take them out to surprise her. Out of excitement, she mobilized her friends and they were taken to a fast food restaurant, and the man ordered meals for them. He then signaled Lisa that it was time to get a gift and surprise one of her friends. He asked her to collect all their phones so that they would not communicate and ruin the surprise. At the store, the man asked to hold the phones as Lisa picked out a dress for her friend. And she was busy selecting a dress. The suspect left with all their phones, leaving them to foot the restaurant bills. What? It's a bit shocking story.
That's quite a story, yes. Yeah, maybe this man targets naive student, that is for sure, because he convinced them that he liked one of them. He also convinced them by taking them to a restaurant and ordering meals for them. And he also convinced them to give him his phones, to give him their phones. Yeah, I think these are a piece of naive students, and I think they were really taken advantage of. I think they were helped by the authorities, but this is something people should be looking after, especially college students. yeah, college students are nowadays being taken really advantage of. People are really smart out here. You should really take care of yourself so that you cannot become a victim one day.
True. So I think this is a criminal who just targets students and lies to them, and then later grabs them, their things. Wow. Okay, Ruto modifies his official flag 1 month after swearing in. The yellow standard that was unveiled during his inauguration at Kasarani a month ago now has a green outline. Every other component remained as it was before, consisting of a black wheelbarrow, 2 crossed spears, and a shield in the Kenyan colors.
Well, the president's flag really, it symbolizes the president's connection with the Kenyans, and I don't know why Ruto decided to change the yellow band. I think it was like a logo on him, a logo for the hustlers. Yeah, but I think he had a pretty good reason to change it. But the fact that the wheelbarrow, the 2 cross spears, and the shield remained, I think the color is the only one which changed, and I think he had a really good reason for it. Yeah, and I think it really looks very nice.
Yeah. Uganda, Rwanda to beat Kenya in dollar millionaires growth. Kenya will trail Uganda and Rwanda in terms of growth in the number of super rich individuals with assets worth more than $100 billion over the next decade due to more conducive business environments in the 2 East Africa community states. Kenya is projected to post a 55% growth in the number of centimillionaires over the next 10 years to 2032, trailing Rwanda at 70% and Uganda at 65%, said a report by research firms New World Wealth and Henley Partners.
Well, I think the reason this is happening is because of the change of government. I might not be a business expert, but if you see the countries which we have been compared with, Rwanda and Uganda, they have not had a recent change in government, and a change in government, of course, affects economic growth, which I think is why they have conducted this research of the dollar millionaires growth. Yeah, and I think we are not far off at 55%. We are still good, but we really need to keep working on so that we can reach the standards set by Rwanda and Uganda. Yeah.
And I think the 3 East Africa community states will work together well. Yeah, because we are neighbors and we are close to each other. Motor clinic. What are you carrying on your car and how should you be carrying it? What are the laws we need to know regarding carrying goods in a private saloon or pickup? Short answer. The applied rules depend on which policeman you're talking to. According to car expert Mwangi, the answer he said needs no further elaboration. I think now this brings us back to our key thing in this country, which is corruption.
Yeah, Mwangi is right. It always depends on the police officer which you
are talking to. And how much they're asking from you.
Yeah, and how much you are willing to give them, because I don't think even if there are laws which guide us on how to carry luggages on our car. I think no matter how you carry them, although unless you have something in your pocket, I don't think no one should be preventing you to be carrying luggages however you want, because this is Kenya. We know Kenya is this is Kenya, and Kenya is our business. And but I think it's time to change the laws. Corruption is has brought a really great disaster to our country. We should change. We should change that notion. And we should focus more on adhering the rules than always thinking about how much we should pay the police officer.
But do you think this corruption thing will ever end in Kenya if the policemen are the people who are initiating it each and every time?
Well, I think it depends on the people themselves. If they want it to end, it can end, although it will take time. But if we dedicate on it, I think it can end, and we can see a much more prosperous future without corruption.
Final statement as we close the show.
Let's look out for the CS rating this today. It will be a really hot one, like the one which happened the day before yesterday, and it will be
general story. 15 minutes.
And it will be really good if we see how the CS rating comes comes to pass. Yeah, and I think Ruto has a really, he appointed a really strong team behind him, and I really support him on that.
And when is this vetting thing ending?
Yesterday's vetting ended at around 8:04 p.m. Yeah, and I think today will be the same. And the CS, how I saw the debate yesterday, it was really a hot seat for those nominees. The questions asked were really tough, and they really had to come up with very elaborate answers, and I don't think it will be any much easier today. So the CS nominees should be really prepared and should be really prepared for the committee, which is really tough.
Okay, but these are rich people. You know, these CSs are rich people. According to the debates I've had so far, most of them are millionaires. You know, some are worth 420, some 800, some 700. Like, I think money always goes to those who have money, and money attracts money. Because these are people who will earn a great, huge sum of salary, and still they have their millions which they have invested in other businesses.
Of course, yeah, and although these were nominated by Ruto, yeah, I think the vetting process is part of the procedure, but I don't think it really decides much of the final outcome. I think they will be just the same. This is Dr. Ruto's team, which he has chosen, with his own team, and I think these are the people who are going to go through. But I think the vetting process is necessary so that the Kenyans can know who they are working with. So the CS nominees should be really honest. And although they are going to get the CS position, we should know what's really going on about them.
Alright, it has been Wednesday newspaper briefing with me, Regina Mondi. Follow us at Romy TV Africa in all our social media platforms. And I'm with my amazing colleague today here.
I'm Eric Kimeu.
Yeah, thank you for being with us. See you tomorrow, same place, same time.
Love it, man.